I like very much. I like very much this. I think this is also very much important being in the German Design Council because it brings a sense of innovation, a sense of self-motivation and self-finding many things while I'm doing. I'm the member of the family who owns a company called Nurus, which is Nurettin Usta, coming from my grandmother's nickname. The company now is 94 years old, and Nurettin Usta was the father of my mother. So my mother, after he passed away in 1965, my mother became the first industrial woman registered in the country. So she continued this one together with my father, and I and my brother, we came as the third generation to the company. I took over beginning 90s, the responsibility of manufacturing, and then my brother for sales. And we took totally the company over in the last 10 years, let's say. I made my study in those technical universities in the Department of Industrial Design, Faculty of Architecture, and graduated around 86, 87, I don't know, some of those years. The whole my life was somehow in inventions, sometimes reinventing, because also this is the topic of today, what to design, how to design. And in that topic, also I have to invent many things in Turkey, because with its $2,000 per capita, when I start this job, the nation was not able to manufacture many ingredients of modern furniture making, let's say. So I have to invent many things. I have to find things to make world-class products and to bring them all over the world, the components, or reinvent, to push some people to make it here in Turkey, to bring the manufacturing here. So that makes me a manufacturing maniac. And the thing that brings me to the German Design Council, which indeed the German name is Rat für Formgebung. This is not because I know to speak German, but now I can pronounce well the German Design Council. Indeed, the German meaning is Council for Design. Rat für Formgebung. So I was invited 5 years ago to that council. There are many members. I was the member number 170 after they decided to make it more international. And to be there, you have to be a very clear and wide and bright history of design. So no stealing, no too much inspiring, but being yourself for many years. Because a committee introduced you to the members, and then if you are eligible, then voted between members. And they asked, do you want Nurus as a member of German Design Council? There's only two answers and no explanation, yes or no. So if one of the members say no, without any reason, you cannot be a member. I myself, I even voted Carl Zeiss AG, which is a concrete German brand, that become or invited after me. So I had the right to vote that company also. And I felt very interesting. Some of the companies, for example, the Liebherr, Lamy, Porsche, Siemens, Grohe, name it. So Siemens, was, and many companies. They're small, medium to very large companies, but the only thing is you must have some clear ideas and history, and you have to share this with the other members, unless there is no conflict of interest in between each other. So, for example, I was invited to Bmw the Leipzig Building. The building is, the architect of the building is Zaha Hadid. And the Leipzig Building is very important because the Leipzig Building is also the center of innovation for BMW, and they build the i3 and i8 fully carbon fiber body product over there for many years. So there's a competence center inside the factory. So they reinvented somehow the carbon fiber manufacturing. They acquired a carbon fiber fabric manufacturer in the United States, and then they make their own fabrics, and then they bring together several layers and make it perfect for car body manufacturing. And also they developed a process called preforming, and then a high pressure resin injection. So this two process made them #1 in the world to manufacture one full side of a car each 2 minutes. In 2026, I've been awarded by Turkish Airlines to redesign their economy class chairs, because about 10 years ago they made a company called TSI, Turkish Seat International, and they designed and engineered an economy class chair, but they didn't succeed to manufacture it in mass. So the Turkish Airlines and the Korean company together, they awarded me to rethink the manufacturing ability, design, the components, and the whole thing together. So I made this study in 3.5 months, and we made the chair about 25% lighter and about 45% cheaper. And 30,000 chair manufactured in Turkey. I didn't manufacture the chair. I was awarded with design and manufacturing method of this chair. And I was asking later on BMW to help me to develop economy class seat chair components made out of carbon fiber, and each can be producible in less than 2 minutes. Aircraft seating is not a design issue, it's an aviation issue. So you have to act together inside many disciplines. About 6-7 years ago, you remember, all you guys remember that we had smaller phones, and smaller phones with smaller batteries. So all of us, we were out of battery in the half day, nearly. So in those years, I invented a battery system, and this battery system I was thinking to establish all the waiting lounges of aircrafts and terminals and anywhere in public together with battery system, and to make people use my batteries, I have to talk to my batteries, and I have to connect some screens, some advertising issue with the batteries. So, and then maybe to ask some questions to the people real-time online, and with the answer I can supply them free of charge energy, but I can make also public opinion research in minutes that the normal system makes it in months, in weeks, let's say. So I invented this battery system and I make them communicable. I developed together with a group of electronic engineers indeed a Bluetooth ecosystem. They call it later on grid mesh. It's a wireless system, but it's not using the existing wireless broadband and existing wireless bandwidth. So I'm not disrupting any other existing infrastructure, but whenever you put a battery within 10-12 meter of any other system, of my system, let's say, this battery automatically connect to my system. So, and they create a grid mesh. So the German government invite me with this innovation. They invite me to the German Design Council. And after that, many other innovations. So once you are a member, you're always a member. So here also, this is a book every year coming from German Design Council. And unfortunately for me, the name is the major German brands. And as Nurus GmbH, my German company, is known as one of the major German brands for the last 5 years. So, and then I became a juror in the German Design Council for communication, architecture, and design. There is, I think, German Design Council has more than 10 different awards. Iconic awards. There is one other award for car manufacturing, car design. We have interior design awards, communication design awards, product design awards in different categories. For many years, I was the jury member for German Design Council, German Design Award. There is 21 juror for industrial design and 21 juror for the communication design. So the jury sessions till last year was in Frankfurt. Last year it was online, the jury, and I was not in the jury starting from last year. I had chance to communicate with the world famous design personalities, and also many different visits to different companies and find out about their expertise. So this is very important. So you exchange your expertise against nothing. So this is very good. This was my dream to make it in my country also, and still I'm working on, and to put together eligible brands, indeed, I attempted about 20 years ago. I was the founder of a office furniture manufacturer association, and I was thinking that if we can fix the ethical rules, the methods of obtaining know-how, and to put everything under this organization, and when we have the stamp of that organization in in the business cards or together with the logos of the members, I dreamed that we could establish somehow a brand of reputation, because reputation management personally and the brand wise and the company wise is the most important issue for the sustainability of a brand. So this is the story of me as Renan and also as Nuruz becoming a member of German Design Council, which is now almost 350 members, I think, world around. I want to tell you one more institute, which is quite important for me to reach the knowledge together and to build the knowledge together, and this called the Fraunhofer Institute. Fraunhofer Institute is a German institute, is with this logo type over there. Can you see it? Is it net? I don't know. Okay, Fraunhofer. So this group in that research, Fraunhofer has more than, I think, around 70 institutes. So what we are doing in one of them, together with those brands that I showed you, was BMW, Fujitsu, Adidas, Deutsche Bahn, Hayward, furniture manufacturer, Volkswagen, Sanofi, Trilux, lighting manufacturer, and some facility management companies together. What we are researching is the future of work life. For the last 10 years, we are doing this. So Fraunhofer Institute is a semi, let's say, academic institution that those brands are founding. We are visiting every quarter a few companies, a few brands, offices world around, mainly in Europe. For example, Google in Ireland, Google in UK, Google in Germany, Google in Czechoslovakia, Google in Poland, Google in Turkey. And then accordingly, we find out, and the members of and the people from those companies are almost in my level people, either the board members or leads of the departments or marketing. For example, the Volkswagen was represented by their marketing manager of the Volkswagen Group. BMW was one of the board member, Adidas board member, Deutsche Bahn head of employment, Fujitsu general manager, Germany, Sanofi board member. So what we are trying to do with our experience, again, we were sharing our experience, what we saw in Google office of Ireland. There's 4,000 people working in Ireland, Google, from 69 countries, maybe more today. And as we are visiting Fraunhofer Institute members for research, all doors are open to us. So we can get in and we can really observe what happens over there. Nearly 90% what happens and what we saw over there is what they are communicate with the people, not at all. This is very well explainable why they are doing so. But the method here is very important. What we are doing is we are observing those companies, those brands, those institutions in an ecosystem of, but mainly in a, for example, Ireland has an income level of $60,000 per capita or $70,000 per capita. We are talking about 10 times of Turkey or 12 times of Turkey now. And then we try to find out what happened in a $60,000 country, per capita country, and what are the effects of those. This is an issue that is more than prime important in my life, and I had this because of Middle East Technical University in 1980s and 1980s. Indeed, this is the topic of today, what I'm talking about in the last 20-25 minutes, because I already talked about brand, about place, and about products, and what to design, how to design. I now want to share a book with all you guys. This book is very important for me. It's a kind of very initial handbook for me. I'm gonna show you. I have a small story about. Let me have some water. Okay, so I made my high school studies in Istanbul, in a school called Galatasaray, and I was a boarding student. I was living in the high school building day and night, and then I come to Ankara after the high school to Middle East Technical for design, industrial design studies, and at the same time, my brother was in the United States for 1 year as an exchange student, and he came back from States with a Commodore computer. I don't know what is the average age of our audience, but the Commodore computers in 1982 was the first home computers with a color screen and gaming and basic language programmable computer with a full-size keyboard, and I was so much involved on this computer programming issue because Ankara was quite boring for me after Istanbul, and I spent nearly most of my times I start to spend with computers. And then I had the very small handbook of basic language, came with the box of the computer. And then I start coding in 1982. And it took me a lot of time to understand the logic of coding. For example, let's make a very small program subroutine to ask the computer to count and to stop somewhere. So that means I have to assign a variable and a number to that variable. Let's say the first sentence is A equal to 1. Then I go to second sentence, A equal A plus 1. That's idiot. I mean, if A equal A plus 1, then I should call it B, C, whatever, something else. But then I learned that to make computer counting, I should continue that loop. Okay. The second sentence is A equals A plus 1. The third sentence is if A equal to 30, then stop. Okay, this is a very small program, and then you run this program and computer counts till 30 within milliseconds and it stops. Or you can ask if A equals 3 billion, then stop. And then you can show them on the screens, and then you can see how fast computer is counting this. This was very simple. Then it took me several times to understand this variable is changing a variable in a way. And then when I was going for more complex programs, I find out that I was somehow in difficulties. Forgive my language, but this is the perfect terminology for that one. I learned coding by fuck-ups. So that somehow showed me and proved me that fuck-ups are very important in your life to learn something. Indeed, in Turkish, we have a quite complex proverb for that one. I led Haluk Hoca to translate this in later session to you. Bir musibet bin nasihattan iyidir. So with all those musibets, fuck-ups, I learned this coding issue. But then I learned one very important thing in my life, that if you make mistakes while coding in complex routines, then it stops working the computer, the software. So whatever it happens around you, you are the responsible by yourself. Except some, let's say, bigger things than you, let's say, or call it God, call it quantum, call it space, whatever. But whatever you are doing, you are responsible to do it in a correct way. And this is also quite the same while you are sailing, for example, with a sailing boat. I mean, because you have to tell the sailing boat where to sail, where to go. And while doing this, you're using the wind, the force of the wind that you are using. And if you are a regular sailor, you can reach 80% of the boat speed without making any big things. But if you want to make a real change in that race, then you have to count the small 2-digit bits of the nautical mile speed that you can reach on that boat. And that means you have to well tune that boat. You have to well in communication with that boat. You have to well understand what is going on the boat. And when you order the sails to be more tightened, what is the reaction of the boat? So I think this is one of the reasons that especially men after 40, 45 years old, they're in love with the boats, because they learn how to act to the boat, and the boat will answer to your efforts. So this is important, and this is the reason also they're in love with their boats, and the boats generally called sheep. So a small anecdote. In my till my third year on Midwest Technical University, I was only attempting the necessary courses. And who decides that which one is necessary? It was me to decide, because I was selling Commodore computers by importing Commodore computers. I'm the first importer of Commodore computers outside America in 1982. And I was selling my computers to the American Air Base people here in Ankara and in Adana. And also I was writing softwares and gaming softwares, and then making a lot of money. Haluk Hoca will well remember that I was coming to the school on this 20 years old with the latest model of Peugeot 504 car. And I was coming only the necessary lessons, let's say. One of my unnecessary courses was history of design. So, because I was so smart and I was thinking that history is history, I'm going for future, and I don't need the history of design. And I dealt somehow with that. But in the second year of the second semester of the third year, we had a very, very incredible personality in the school, Maris. Maris was responsible from that year. It was, I think, 1984, something like that. 84 to 85. Maris was responsible for the design history. And she brings that book, Shock of the New, Robert Hughes. The book is from 1982. This is the updated and enlarged edition on my hand. Okay. The issue with that book is it starts from 1890s and goes to 1960s, every 10 years, let's say, basically, episodes. What happens sociopolitically? What are the effects socioeconomically? And what are the results on the social life? And how art, painting, sculpture affected from what is going on. So this is very important. This is one of the most important relations, definition of this book, the relation between what is going on and the art. Because the artist is the most, today we can call artists the most sensitive sensors of the sociology. Because artists are sensing what's happening, and they come with some ideas of what will happen also, but by understanding today, by understanding the history, by understanding the past. So, and then if you can well read what is going on that sensors, you can understand well what is going on the society also, in technology, in art, in design, in whatever. So I think I believe so much that I think the design schools are quite exaggerated and misunderstood, and they, especially the academic people, they thought that they're artists. They're not. They're architects. They're designers, and they have products or buildings. They don't have. I don't know what is in English. Hold on, I'm going to find it. Sorry to make you wait. Let's say, for example, you cannot say that the art pieces of Sedat Hakkı'nın eserleri. But if you go to literature, you will find only Sedat Hakkı'nın eserleri. No one talks about Sedat Hakkı'nın binaları. No one talks about Sedat Hakkı'nın yapıları, the buildings of Sedat Hakkı. But they're talking like an artist. They're talking about an artist. So this is totally wrong, my friends, according to me. Sorry, this is my turn. So, and also this affects, I think, a lot, because we call it, all the design and architectural schools are called School of Arts and Crafts. So it's not. We can, I mean, arts can be how we should, it's a part of our alimentation, it's a part of our inbound, together with data, together with everything. It's what we have to feed from ourselves from, and the output should be somehow also craft. I can give you some examples. For example, in the aerospace industries, many of the components are produced, are well known. This is a sentence used very well in the countries that are doing well this business. Is aircraft components is half a science and half a craftsmanship. So if you look on Google or on YouTube, the building of an aircraft, small movies and everything, then all the folks, all the guys over there that you're gonna see, they're over 40, over 50 years old people, because it needs an experience, it needs an expertise, it needs kilometers to have this experience. So the shock of the new is very important, because also think about Kandinsky and Picasso, they were not friends. But they were doing the same thing, very similar things, because of what is happening, their environment in 1930s. So Vasily Kandinsky and Picasso, even some earlier guys on the Expressionism, so they had no phones or no emails or no TVs or nothing else to talk, only the telegram, the Morse alphabet. You cannot describe what Kandinsky is doing with the Morse alphabets. So then how come those guys have similar outputs? This is explained here. Because what is going on socioculturally, sociopolitically, socioeconomically was so similar to, also Haluk Hoca will explain you later in Turkish proverb, aklın yolu bir. So they have similar, of course, with many nuances, but similar reactions. That's okay. So I'm now really coming to my subject: what to design, how to design. Okay, if we are, I have a product called Me Too. So I named the product in 2006. It's a task chair called Me Too. But then the Me Too is used with a bad thing because of a Hollywood star and a Hollywood director abused some sexual, let's say, problems together with the actresses. So Me Too is not well accepted now, but on my chair, it's the one of the most selling chairs of the world. I manufactured hundreds of thousands of that chair, and this is one of the best chairs still, with many awards. I designed that chair together with a very young designer from Middle East Technical. She's now living in States. In 2006, and we used the net structure with a philosophy of tensile structures, and it was not very easy to compute textile structures in 2006, but we did our best. And also the plastic technology was not the plastic technology of today, so we made a very flexible back on the chair for human body. Many other things. The cost of the chair to me was about 350 euro, and the cost of the goods, and I was able to manufacture the chair by a German manufacturer in Germany. The mechanism was made in Germany because the mechanism of a chair is a critical component, is a life health related component. You fall down from a chair, then you may have brain damage or other issues, so it's a critical component. But the biggest mistake that I made is to try to sell this chair in Turkish market in 2006, because the per capita of Turkey was about 5,000, 4,000 dollars. So if you manufacture and try to sell a chair for 2 months salary or 2 months income of, not say salary, so it's a wrong terminology. The good terminology is if the country has $5,000 per capita, that means roughly $400 per month. And if you try to sell 2 months worth chair in a $5,000 economy, nobody buys it. One of the professors of the Middle's Technical, I think maybe 12 years ago, she asked me, Renan, do you have ergonomic chairs? I said, yes, Hocam, we have. So how much are those? I said, around $400 or $500 for you, my dear professor, I said. She said, oh, it's extremely expensive. I said, but you have glasswares that you paid over $1,000 maybe, because it's a brand, it's something like Chanel or whatever, Dior or whatever. So, and then she said, okay, but this is a brand and this is something. So you well understand that in a $5,000 economy, the worth of your body is less than the worth of your expressions, maybe, of how you express yourself in the public. But when it comes to $10,000, then you can easily sell your chairs to more people, not because they are getting rich, but because the importance of human body and the relation of what you are generating on that chair and what is the worth of what you are generating. So this is a different measurement. I'm going to give you a different example. For example, nowadays, I think Egypt is $1,500, $2,000 per capita, more or less similar to India. In Egypt, on the traffic, the attitudes of people on the traffic is different than the attitude of the people on the India streets. On India streets, there are many motorcycles, bicycles, small things, and people acting different. In Egypt, the luxury cars, if you hit a luxury car with your bicycle, then you may be responsible against this one, because in a $2,000 economy, unfortunately, the importance of human is not the same with an economy of $15,000, $20,000. Let's make a decision and try to earn money in those economies. For example, shall we manufacture fluorescent jackets that make me more visible in the traffic? No, not really, because in a $2,000 economy, you are not that important. It's not accepted like that. So you can sell those fluorescent jackets after $6,000, $7,000 economies. You cannot sell. I mean, of course, somebody will buy your jackets, but not en masse. So whatever you design, you have to well understand that society. You cannot design everything. You cannot, for example, also some other. Maybe this is a big discussion issue in architecture. Why there is no tall tower in Italy, for example? There's no tall buildings in Italy. lots of people, also in Germany, also in many other countries in Europe, because some says that the effects of the church on that one. So lots of people believe that church doesn't allow higher buildings than the top of the of their buildings. So the society, the community is making you to have some designs. And one of the biggest problems with industrial designers, they make products ready, they sketch the products, they bring the products and they show you, you want to sell it. This was my one of my biggest fights some 15-20 years ago with my friends who decided to make their own design studios. So they were designing something and they were bringing to me or to other companies. So I think this is quite a non-clear way of making things, because you need my brief to design. Have you ever seen, if we agree that architecture, interior design, product design are the different scales of the same disciplines, if we assume that one, have you ever seen an architect make a ready designed building? I made a hospital, you want to make it in Istanbul? No way. So ridiculous, because you have to make it accordingly, according to your brief, or I made a building design. Oh, my building is very nice. Do you want this? We can make a hotel out of this. We can make a hospital out of this. We can make a company headquarters out of this. Ridiculous. So this is maybe an example to show you that whatever your scale is and whatever your scale of thinking, and as an architect also you can design products, but you put things in the accordingly scale of that product, and you have to think about those products' environment. So a product is, for example, for a smaller product, you may be not good to think about 10/1 scale or 100/1 scale of this product, instead of thinking 1/100 or 1/500 or 1/20, 1/50, whatever. So the scale is extremely important, because the scale is also defining your proficiency on the issues. Then you have to also well collaborate during the design. You have to well collaborate with the other disciplines. So to well collaborate with other disciplines, you have to know their language. For example, as an architect, your language, or as a designer, your language may be drawings. With the drawings, you can express at least to a certain point what is in your mind. This is your language. But the language of an electronic designer is different. You shouldn't have to know the terminology of electronics on a paper, on a blueprint. But if you are demanding something from the electronic industry, you have to know. You have to go over there by at least knowing something about what you are asking for. This is important. This is important for both for your own respect, and this is important for the others to have a respect to you and to well understand, to clearly understand what you want, what they are giving, how you are meeting each other. It's like listening a radio. I mean, you have to well adjust your frequency to the transmitting frequency of the radio station. You cannot listen Power FM on a different frequency than Power FM. So whatever the disciplines that you are communicating and you should communicating with, you have to communicate. You have to deal. You have to bargain. You have to whatever, and that's somehow a kind of negotiations that everybody approach to each other, and then building up something. And this is very important, I think. And as an architect, I mean, I assume most of you guys are from architecture disciplines, and so it's very important. The responsibility of an architect is to define a lifestyle for human beings. So I mean, you have to very, very well understand what is going on now. To well understand what is going on now, you have to be very open-minded for what happened in the near history. So if you understand well history, then you can connect things. Imagine the science fiction movies and the time travel over there. Everybody tell the guy who wants to travel in the time that if you go to the past, do not change anything. Because what happened, okay, delta t, which is the time, is you have something happening here and then affect that one, and then this affect that one, this affect that one. So you have to be very well connecting why something happens and go to maybe to find out the root reason of this issue, well understand today. Now, this is extremely important. I want you to share lastly one definition with you, guys. Knowist. Knowist, I'm calling myself knowist, and I like very much this terminology. There are other things also, there are other people also called themselves somehow knowist in 1930s. There are some economists also who call themselves something knowist. Let me find you also one example, but before the definition, according to Urban Dictionary, knowist is a person who believes in living in the moment. Knowist sheds negative things in the past and gains energy from the positive things in the right now, thereby improving the possible future. So I like very much that definition. Shedding the negative and positive can make positive more powerful, but also can make negative more powerful. Think about Star Wars and think about the dark side of the power and the light side of the power, whatever you call it. Or if you go to 5G technology today, there is a Turkish professor, Turkish physician, the electronic engineer, Erdal Arıkan, who is the inventor of polar codes. That's a verification technology, very fast verification technology in milliseconds, what you transmit in this digital coding, and the real-time online verification. He explains somewhere, Erdal Arıkan, that the very difficult things in electronics to make this faster and faster is to separate the bad noises from the necessary one. So when you can eliminate the noises, so you have the clear signal going on. So what Erdal did in polar codes is he definitely separated every time the noise, and he let the clear signal goes fastest and the best way. So this is how he he succeeded. And he's the known, like, one of the father of the 5G technology. This is what I'm doing on my thinking style also, and as a novice also, to take away the negative and to think the positive. I can clearly see the positives and the negatives also, and it's your decision then to what to amplify and how to amplify the means. Make it bigger and bigger. Yes, guys, this is. I think I'm on the end of my speeches here. If you have any questions.
First of all, I would like to thank you very much. That was really impressive. I mean, the sheer multidimensionality of your personality, also your let's say designer personality, business personality, came out very strongly, and it is very inspirational. I mean, you said so many, you know, seed-like things. They are seeds, and we are being listened not only by students but also by professors from different departments, from our engineering departments, from our design departments, and from all from people from all walks of academic life are with us at the moment, and this will go into, I think, posterity through YouTube. So I would like to thank once again for what you told us, but I would also, if possible, like to know the products you offered. You let us know. You did let us know some clues about what you are doing, but is it possible to mention some of the products you worked on, and that people can check from the internet and see what they were? Also, some new projects. I know that you have lots of them, but some of them are really popular at the moment as well. For example, the chairs you did for Atatürk Cultural Center, for also the design of Hürkuş, for the Hürkuş.
Yeah.
Designing of the yachts you did. I mean, you talked about sea life and the boats, but you definitely know about them because you did design them. So could you please, pick up a few of them? And
what I believe that each person has their own elements table, periodic table. I have my own also. I have a periodic table, so I have my own elements, the body elements, the soul elements, the main elements, the rare elements. I have those elements. These are the experiences, the materials, the know-how, years, kilometers, my human resources, machinery, abilities, technology readiness level. I mean, the level of how I reach the technology, and the level how I generate output from technology. So that makes my elements table. And from that elements table, I can make molecules that I want. So if I make a new chair design, I use my elements. I use my relations with my team. I know their know-how. I know their abilities on materials. I know my company's abilities on material processing, manufacturing processing. And on the other hand, I have some elements showing me the shock of the new results, what is going on. Now, what kind of chair that I have to design, or what kind of products I have to design. So, and by doing this, I can make, with the same elements, I can make different molecules. So this is, I mean, if you know a bit about chemistry or cuisine, kitchen, so you know that the way you are doing and the way you are using materials are coming with different results. So I explained this because years ago, 3 years ago, because I'm good on the composite materials, and I have a composite development center here in my factory in Ankara. Because I mean I have to research for future. I don't have to wait that I need that material. I may need that material in future. I know that if you read well the history, I mean the material that we are manufacturing furniture, the material that we are manufacturing cars, everything is in a change. So I should be an idiot if I expect no change and think about that styling different way the chipboards or the veneer is the future of furniture. Is not. Because the furniture itself it's already changed, will change, and will change. And the furniture, for example, or interior design, maybe interior design of a car, or with the today terminology and mobility device bullshit, is also an issue, the interior design. Because you design a room, somehow that room has a computer, has a communication system, and 4 wheels or some other technologies to bring you from somewhere to another. But there is a room inside there's a space inside of that. So I think this can be an issue of furniture, transportation furniture. So this is the reason also when they ask me, how come you involved on the aircraft chair design? So hell, I'm good in chairs. And I have this molecule, I know this molecule, except the chair for aircraft also needs other elements of aircraft engineering and aerospace engineering or whatever, because you have to know, you have to communicate with that disciplines also. So this is the reason that I'm explaining this before the products. 3 years ago, I've been asked to build a jet airplane mock-up in 60 days. I show you guys from, I don't know how to share my screen, and the data is not on the computer that I'm talking, so I'm going to make this a very, very conventional method. Okay, so the government asked me to build an aircraft. They told that they have a dream like that. So it came because I have a laboratory and I have 38 people here for research and development. I have many other scientific approaches to design material and products. So these guys find me well to make this mock-up, and they had only 60 days to bring it in full scale to UK, Britain, to the Farnborough Air Show in 2018. This is like in the construction industry. So you build a mock-up, a small scale mock-up, and you sell your houses, apartments out of this. This is more or less the same. Okay. And what we did is, of course, there is a huge study of engineering. And then we made those engineering in 15 days. It's almost like building a real aircraft, because we have been asked to carry about 1.5 tons of loads on the wings and 500 kilograms for the cockpit. And they promised us to give the cockpit. They have one cockpit, the real one, on their hand, and we're going to use that one. And then it is changed. So the landing gears, we rebuilt it here, everything. So we made the studies, we made the finite element analysis of the loads and of the material that we invented, the material combination that we invented. That's why they call it composites. You compose the materials. So then we build a full-scale skeleton over there. We built, this is a 14-meter aircraft. Okay. So also the 5-axis machines are built by my team. The routing, all these routers are built here. If you visit my laboratories, we have eight machines with multi-axis technologies here. So we create materials, we made out of foam. These are structural foam. You can feel the size of the aircraft. We 6 non-stop day and night, 24 hours, 60 minutes and 60 seconds each, with I think 12 or 15 fuck-ups at the end we obtained to shape the transparencies. They call transparency. And then it's a really funny story.
Unbelievable. Wow. Wow.
The interior and all the control surface of this airplane is moving by servo motors and by joysticks and other things. And we packed it and we sent it to UK. So this was a big challenge. I can show you some of the boats that I'm building also. Just to give you an idea, friends, about the sizes that I'm dealing with. These are full composite structures. We have a quite know-how. This is Gün, Haluk Hoca, you remember Gün?
Oh yes, I see.
Yeah, he's our students, and he's now in UK in the yacht designs. He made many designs for composite and yacht structure for me. Well, if you go to the design awards site in Nurus, you can see many products over there. The most important thing is those products are the earliest samples of its kinds, and these were the results of the shock of the new. But of course, we are today we are in Turkish economy with a $0.8 trillion magnitude. The magnitude of our economy is $0.8 trillion. The magnitude of an American economy is $25 trillion. So this is the magnitude, like an earthquake. Okay, so in a $0.8 trillion magnitude, you can make some things, but in a $25 trillion magnitude, you can make other things. in a $10,000 economy, you can realize something. In a $70,000 economy, you can realize other things. So the biggest fault of the lower economies, thinkers, let's say people over there, is to visit the $40,000 economies and then turning back to their countries and expecting the reactions of $40,000 economy in a system of $10,000. Impossible. Impossible. Basically, in Ankara, in 4 days, if you have the same shoes, then you have dust on your shoes. Because this is a $10,000 economy, and in a $10,000 economy, you have still a lot of constructions, both on buildings and on the roads, on the land developments and other things. On the other hand, there are some big nose guys may tell you that I was in Germany last week, and believe me, my friends, I had no dust on my shoes. Of course, that's all, because this is a $40,000 economy. So the biggest mistake for human beings is to not understand where they are and what they are. So if you are designing, if you are developing a design thinking in a place, you have to well understand where you are, what are the conditions, what are the situations, what is going on socioeconomically, sociopolitically, and to well understand this and to react accordingly. So nearly all my products are done accordingly. For example, some 10 years ago, we invented a small meeting place called Pit Stop, and we call it Pit Stop because it was a place of re-energizing. It was a multi-use place for office workers. The Pit Stop is designed by Gökyay'ın and Gökyay'ın, and these are our students in Ece from my years, and also by me. So then we developed the product accordingly for different markets. For example, in Germany, we are selling the product with electrically height adjustable, but not in Turkey because the market is not demanding this. This is something like we invented with Think after the big plazas of office plazas in Istanbul rised, and the per square meter rent fees were around $400 per year. So what you make, you build a meeting room at least 4 meter by 5, 3 meter by 5, 15, 20 square meter. You bring mechanical systems, electric systems, and then you use only 10% of this. And only for one reason. If you need meetings, if you need bring people together, not talking about extreme critical or extreme secure issues, then you don't need that room. You don't need any mechanical installation. You can use the environment, the office environment to make your meeting. You just have to define the place and to bring people in a good occasion to come together and necessary infrastructure. This is Pit Stop. Of course, we invented this. We had the power of thinking. We had the power of bringing life this, but the magnitude is $0.5 trillion, the magnitude of Turkey. If we had this product in America, things would be much more different. But I'm not complaining why I'm not in America. So I keep going on my way. On the other hand, most of the economists and most of the people with their speeches, with their they call themselves whatever, and they're giving example of Apple did like that, Google did like that. Guys, anybody in this audience can describe me a school vehicle in Turkey or in Czechoslovakia or in Uganda, in Somalia, in Iraq? No, none of you can. If I ask you, what is a school bus in America? Everybody in this audience knows those yellow school buses of America. If I ask you to describe me the firefighter car, the rest of the world, you cannot describe. Some of you guys will tell about others. But if I ask you to draw and define the American firefighter car, you will. 50 states, those guys are using lots of templates over there. And the multiplier and the magnitude of the economy is totally different. There is a typical McDonald's building in the whole country, and they manufacture this building somewhere, and they put it in a template. So in America, you have two major beer brands. Of course, you can find every imported brands over there. But in manufacturing, there's two brands. If you come to Europe, one village never drinks the other village beer. So it's so much fragmented over there. So where you are and what you are doing and how you are doing is critical. You can see lots of what I'm doing public in numerous websites on internet. On the other hand, I'm building some special things that I'm thinking necessary for future. For example, I'm working a lot on composites. Today, composites, it's with resins. So resins are liquid plastics. So if you know about how to mix them, and you can use for many different purposes. Also, as we are very familiar with resins, then we would think about a concrete type material. Why we are not mixing the granules of granites and liquid plastics together to make very strong, massive bodies. Why we did this? Because I was building machine for myself, because it was impossible to buy them, because Turkey, unfortunately, is in the gray list of Western countries. We are not known for them a total clear ally. For that reason, the technological machines of Europe and America and Japan is subject to export license to Turkey. So we are in the gray list. They gave this license, but they want to be sure what you're doing with them. Several times I had issues on that, so I decided to build my own machines here with my young teams. So now we can manufacture any machines. For example, we have been asked to build the chairs of the Istanbul airport. These are chairs made out of steel and integral skin polyurethane materials, liquid plastic materials. I'm going to show you the product. The product called AOM Terminal. Echo Oscar November terminal. Aeon terminal Nurus. Okay. Yeah. If you go and find out, this is beam seating, okay? But if you write down again Aeon terminal Nurus and the videos, then you will find out that the machine we invented to build those chairs, we had to invent the machine because the government asked those guys a huge airport, and those guys asked 35,000 chairs in once. Normally those chairs are required in few thousands amount, and for few thousands you don't have to invent machines. But if you have to deliver 35,000 chairs, then you have to automate this. You have to invent a machine. So we invented a machine, and now we are selling the machine to America and to India for their manufacturing. But what happened, like in the shock of the new, there were a huge infrastructure project. This infrastructure project requires enormous amount of quantities of products. So I have been awarded to build this chair. Unfortunately, nobody has knowledge about the mass manufacturing of this. So we have to invent the process. We have to invent. So if you go to YouTube and write down Aeon Terminal Nurus, you will find out that the machine that we invented over there. I think also making machines bring you making machine with different people together, teach you how to communicate with different disciplines, and also creates a big confidence. So as we are making machines, and this polymer concrete is a very good material to make machine bases, because polymer concretes are extremely solid, 150 megapascals of tension, of the compression strength material I'm talking. For example, the regular building material of concrete is BS30, BS30, it's 30 megapascal of compression strength. Together with the metal beam inside, the metal, when you combine them together, you have a good material for tension and compression altogether. But the polymer concrete are extremely good material for machine beds. And as this is made in room temperature, what we did, we embedded sensors inside. So then when the machine is working, we can listen what is going on about vibrations, about chattering, about everything. And then we can ask the code writer guys that, hey, computer-aided manufacturing guys, look, we invented a machine that we can embed sensors so that you can read what's going on, and maybe you can program the machine while on its way to work. So during the pandemic, when the pandemic started, we had a room called Kalma. You can write down Kalma Nurus. You will find out the telephone or the controlled isolation cabins that we are manufacturing. So to manufacture those, we have to well understand the air mechanic inside that cabin, because if you have a room of 3 meter by 5 by 3 meter, that means you have a 75 cubic meter of air inside. Okay, so if you put me on that room, I have oxygens of 75 cubic meter. But if you are in a small cabins like 1 meter by 1 by 2.2, you are 2 cubic meter, and in minutes the level of carbon dioxide raised enormously. So we have to ventilate that room. Okay, but when we ventilate that room, we create an enormous noise. So we have to balance the amount of oxygen and the airflow inside. Also the heat, because in a 75 cubic meter room, if you are the only person, you have a certain kilocalorie of heating ability. But in a two cubic meter room, this changed the dynamics of the environment. So you have to take about that. So we well realize this rooms, and when the pandemic started, by using our know-how of air control, we built COVID sample taking units, and we gifted them to government, 15 of them. Consist of 2 by 3 meter containers with 3 rooms. 2 are for patients and 1 for the doctor. The patient area separated, negative pressurized, ultra low particle filters with high pressure fans, and the area of the doctor is 2 meter by 2. Inside that 2 meter by 3 is a one area 2 by 2 meter, let's say 8 cubic meters, and also positively pressurized. So no one bacteria or viruses can get in that room, because we feed with air the room. So the air try to go out, and the inlet air is filtered by ultra low particle filters. The regular air of Ankara outside has 18 million particles in 1 cubic feet. That means 33 by 33 centimeters. So after our filtrations, we have 40 particles, 40 particles, less than 5 microns big. So it's extreme clear environment. So we did the same, this for the rooms. So when Turkish Science Association, TÜBİTAK, find it, and we designed this, we built this in 15 days. We deployed this to Ankara's pandemic centers. So, and then also we published the whole manufacturing data, the materials, the supply chain on internet, in open source. And in China, in Brazil, in Africa, in many countries, these is produced by people and used. So the TÜBİTAK find it out, and they ask us to build a mobile clean room for them. So now we are developing a mobile clean room for them. So and now my people, I call them otters. You know otters? Otters are animals. They're very self-sufficient in their societies. So write down otters. They are susamuru. They have different types of those otters. So I called otters work to my team of research. We make research for nonsense sometimes. It looks like nonsense for today, but it is for something. For example, the polymer concrete can be very well used. Today we can manufacture machines with 2 micron precisions. So we can process steel or titanium or aluminum or any materials with 2 microns of precision. What is next? Well, maybe we'll make machines, because we have elements, the human resource. My engineers here are fully confident to build any machines or anything not existing, and know how to research. They know what to research. They know where to research. They know how to work, how to collaborate, how to share, how to yes, how to share. It's a good the knowledge, the food, everything. So I call them authors, and I think within the next years, maybe with the same team, we will work on sub-micron machining. So we may need this. I believe so. We may need this.
What did you say?
We may need sub-micron machining. Maybe we may need to make some lenses to see what is going on the space. Because today we don't know what is going on the space. And I can download pictures from internet, and I assume that those pictures are telling me what is going on. But if I want my own pictures, then I need to make maybe some telescopes out of this. I don't know. I mean, world is not enough, you know. That's it.
Well, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable in terms of an attitude to life and design. And it's a very, well, high, you know, I mean, it's difficult to define it, but it's a level of motivation that is beyond, well, I don't know, I've ever seen. And also the energy that you know, I mean, from what we heard, it's the energy that runs the whole thing. It's not, I mean, your energy passes apparently to the people working with you.
Because we share the negative and the positive, so, and amplify.
Yeah, that's a good model for actually Turkish design industry or technology. You know, it's a good model for Turkey. Maybe, well, we're going to put this program on the internet so that people, you know, people not here with us would see it, and I'm sure that they'll get motivated and they'll get this courage to start thinking and doing everything from their machinery to, you know, but it took a long time. You said it's a 94-year-old, you know, respectable business, but also your development for the, let's say, quarter of a century, you know, personally, and then your resulting build-up and contributions for the last 10 years. This is awesome, and I hope that you would, I mean, this was a platform that we learned about this, but I hope that you'll have, I mean, and we're going to go, of course, to your internet website, etc., but it wouldn't be the same having you personally with this energy and words, the right time. I said, you know, it really impacts me. I now want to go to my table and start drawing.
No, you can, you know that the best thing is the best thing, and come and see me in my natural environment. So,
so what we'll do is I'm going to ask the students and other staff to contact you through internet or through emailing, etc., and share with you their questions, their views, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, I mean,
as long as I can satisfy. I don't use social media, only LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm not using WhatsApp. I've been learned that LinkedIn is hacked, and I myself also hacked last week or last days, I think, by LinkedIn. But still, I'm using LinkedIn.
But you're open to messages. You're open to messages, I believe, and
I'm always on LinkedIn, maximum minimum once in a day, and anybody wants to reach.
especially in groups with ideas. If they have some ideas and want to consult you or, you know, share some views, I'm sure that will be somehow organized and they can reach you because you are so open and, you know, I mean, Renan Göksoy is what we see. There is nothing behind. I mean, no motivations, no packages, etc. So people now know you personally. Well, thank you. It was a great pleasure having you on this webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, we didn't say many things, but it's your sharing, I hope, was a pleasure for you as well, because you are a sharing person. You know, I didn't want to give examples of that, but I know for one thing that what you did for the research center at METU, for the, you know, I mean, for the Planning, Design and Architecture Research Center, that was unbelievable. It's still going on. And well, it started off life about 15, 16 years ago. And you've done similar things to METU and other places. So, so it is not only, you know, things that you provide, but it's the ideas, the selflessness and the, you know, your heart. That's very important. Thank you for being with us today. And I don't know whether there are questions, but I think we'll go for questions maybe another time, or maybe they will reach you, because we kept you from your work for about nearly 2 hours. It's 2 hours. Yes. Thank you, Renan. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Alvi. Thank you. And if I can inspire any one single mind, that's great. That's great.
You did a lot of minds, I'm sure. And have a healthy future.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Take care. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.